I just got one last thing that I've been looking forward to saying the whole time.
Okay.
So, I was at a conversation with a friend of mine the other day who's a rapper, and I said, it's like a fucked up thing about rap is that there's a lot of things you could be into as a rapper that it just would never make sense for you to rap about. Like, I was like, you like fishing, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you think you could make a dope song about fishing? He's like, no. He's like, I don't got it in me.
I could.
Last night, okay, but I'm just gonna speed run this. Last night, so I listened to the old Step Brothers tape, I listened to the new Step Brothers tape. I'm thinking to myself, like, it's getting late. It's like 2:00 in the morning. I'm thinking, like, I'm gonna watch a bunch of like solo stuff, see what these guys are like as individuals a little bit more. And I put on a Don Trip video, and relatively quickly, I realized that you are rapping about being in high school and and walking in on your mom hooking up with your friend from high school.
You picked the hell of it.
And then they got married.
Yeah, he did.
You didn't go to the wedding.
No, I didn't go to the
And in that moment, I was like, this is a motherfucker who's very, very down to get outside his comfort zone. Because that is not something I ever would have thought I would have ever heard anybody rap about. That's way crazier than fishing. I don't know. I guess I just want to ask, like,
it's a little more intense than fishing.
When did it come into your head that this was something that you thought was suitable for a song? Because also, this is like 20 years ago or whatever,
If you remember when we first sat down, I said, I don't give a fuck about what happens afterwards. Sometimes I had to, man, listen, I ain't got it all together. So I would rather release it than hold on to it. Because some of the things that I've had to release was already eating me alive. And that was one of them things, I stopped turning the other cheek. I stopped trying to get you to hear me. When I'm speaking on, the relationship with my mama. I just got tired of it. I got tired of the one-sidedness. Like, a lot of people feel like a lot of people will hurt you and feel like they did nothing wrong. And then when you respond to it, no matter how you respond, you're wrong. And I just, when it comes to music, that's what music is for me. That's my outlet. You can't combat it. You can't tell me what I'm feeling ain't true. You really can't say shit. You can respond, later after the music is released. But in most cases, I feel like I ain't the only one dealing with it. Maybe not to the extent I had to deal with it, but I ain't the only one who was in that environment. It's people that can't introduce their older auntie to their younger friends because the auntie over flirtatious or might fuck them or whatever. There's people that got to deal with that. And same with Letter to My Son. That was a record that up until then nobody would say any of what I said. So that's just how I feel. I feel like sometimes that shit that everybody be afraid to say need to be said. And that's what happened. That particular record just happened to be that. But the first verse of that record, I'm apologizing to my sister in hindsight. I'm like, we was growing up. We weren't trying to be big brothers. We was trying to get out of mom's house.
Right.
And, now we look back and we see the damage it did to you. We didn't do it on purpose, but, I get it. I see it. And, I hate that that's how it turned out. I wish I had been more, I wish I had looked out for you more, but in reality, I couldn't. I wasn't there. I didn't have a choice. I had to leave. And, when the decision was made, it wasn't, hey, do I live here with my mama, sleeping with my friend, or, used to be friend? Do I live here and, and look out for you? Or, or do I leave? That one part of the decision, if you get what I'm saying, me being a big brother wasn't part of the decision to make.
Does your fan base hear that kind of song, and do you feel like them being excited that you were willing to share that about yourself? Like, do you feel it like in the comments and the response that like they appreciate that you were willing to crack that open, that you really didn't have to?
Yeah, I see it a lot. And I think for the most part, that's my core audience appreciates the fact that if anything, I'm gonna be honest. You know, I'm gonna tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly,
Yeah.
whether it's in my favor or not. And you know, I got records. I got records where you know I ain't. You know, I'm the one to blame. I'm at fault. You know I'm not perfect either. And you know, I also have the. I only know how to call a spade, even if the spade is me. I think that's one of the key attributes. That's one of the main attractions for people who listen to my music. I'm gonna be honest as much as I can.